Good morning and welcome to the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network, media for the 21st century. I trust that your Monday morning is turning out quite okay. Mine is basically so fine, and I can attest to the fact that, the weather is a little bit challenging today. It's a little bit sunny and chilly at the same time, but we have been experiencing different. There is some difference in weather patterns, and I cannot complain about that. Good morning, and how is your Monday morning turning out? As for me, let me repeat once again, I am super excited. Being this is on the 22nd day, and the month is April. So just to remind us that. You gotta live every day to the fullest. You gotta, of course, get to exhaust that one thing that you have been planning and never to do. This is the time to do it because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Also, let me know how your day is turning out. Let me know, maybe in terms of the weather patterns. Let me know how it is, or it could be in terms of any complaint that you have against your government. Because today morning I just woke up. As much as I did not want to complain, but I woke up to the fact that still our economy is pretty much messed up. That still we are actually, I was just debating with someone, and I'm like, I think we are almost reaching, or rather hitting a target of 9 trillion. That is in the number of loans that we do have. So far, so good. They're saying that it's not even so far, so good. Right now, we are at 4 trillion. These are the debts that Kenya is owing, that is other European countries. And I'm just imagining that after the politicians have gone home, after the politicians have retired from politics, and now it is time for them to enjoy their assets. Who is going to pay for these debts? And these are just some of the debts that we know of. Of course, there are some other debts that we are not aware of. So of course, I just woke up with that, and I'm like, we are pretty much messed up. That's our future generation, that our children's children still will not be able to complete paying these debts, because each government, each African government, and let me be precise, each Kenyan government that comes into power must take a loan, forgetting that we, the common Wananchi, are the same ones who are actually paying these debts. That is the complaint that I have woken up with, and I'm just wondering what is really the future for us. Also, another thing is that I have realized, on my way to work, I have realized that different members of parliament, different politicians, we're just, let me say a few months, because we are already on the third month of the year, meaning that other days will simply get to, move so fast. So we're just we're just, of course, a few just more months to next year. And next year in Kenya, we will be having our general elections. And trust me, I am witnessing superhighways being built. I mean, the speed that is being taken. I'm also experiencing roads being, some have already been constructed. Some roads, they're just doing repair. And I have also, that is a notice that. And I just want to say that the type of energy that politicians get to use whenever we are almost approaching the campaign period is just something. It's more like a skill. You actually need to have that skill. But nevertheless, karibuni sana to the Calmie African Diary Show, right here on the Black Hot Fire Network media for the 21st century. And of course, remember, I do understand, I keep on saying this, I do understand that you do have a difference, in timings. So I understand this is the time that most of you are out there, are trying to run your daily activities and so on. If you might have missed some of these shows, simply remember you can log on to www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. And once you are logged in, you can proceed, get to like some of the videos. You can get to share some of the videos. You are definitely allowed to do that. You can also proceed and get, that is, to listen to the music, to read some of the blogs that are just there on the Black or Fire website. And last but not least, we also do appreciate you donating to support the stream. We appreciate that by simply logging on to www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. My name is Calmie, and this is the Calmie African Diary Show. And of course, in terms of the topic today, I had mentioned this last Friday, but I didn't get the opportunity to really dwell much on that. And today we do have, let me say, the entire hour, of course, to get to that is to talk about this topic, because even today I get to even every time I get to take a look at the news, I still get to see the same situation, irrespective of the awareness that have been set about, irrespective of the arrests that have been made, or irrespective of the hashtags on Twitter for justice still taking place. No one is really keen about this until everybody, until everybody gets to like make it mandatory, until everybody gets to like demand for answers strictly. That is when the likes of the DCI gets to actually be in action. But until, or let me say, when everyone is just a little bit low key about that, not really bothering, or just it's just mentioned on the local news. That is it. People just watch, give their sympathy or empathy, and that is it. That is the end of it. Whoever got, that is let me say this, whoever got, of course, maybe to perform the crime is set, is left to walk out here free. And the victim and their family, most of the time, if the victim survived the ordeal, they are left living in a world filled with turmoil. Because every time you get to leave your house to go outside, there is the eyes of the public always judging you, always claiming that the victim is to be blamed. Stick by and keep it the Calmie African Diary Show. And of course, we are taking a short break. And during this particular break, I'll want to show you my trip. Remember, some time back, I believe 2 weeks ago, I had made a trip to Kisiland. Some of you have been wondering, how is Kisi? And some time back, we had done a live in Nairobi, that is the Nairobi city. And of course, you can get to take a look at the comparison. It is way different. But one thing that I really loved about life in the countryside is that peace reigns there. Yes, we are all looking for peace, and it is one thing that usually gets rain there. Also, the abundance in food, the land in abundance. Also, another thing is that everybody, most of the people, they're minding their business, that they have a certain type of routine that they get to stick every day. Just the same case in Nairobi. We also do have that same routine, but our routine is that wake up, for example, if you are required to report to work by 8 o'clock, you have to be up by around 5 or 4 for you to beat the traffic. In the rural place, I didn't get to witness that. Also, another thing, in Nairobi, we get to adhere to the COVID-19 rules. In the rural place, actually, they get to fear you that you're coming from the city. So definitely, you have to be as hygienic as possible, because they wouldn't want anything to happen to them, because these are one people who are so used to the simple way of life. And that is why we do not have huge cases, being reported in rural places. As much as our information, most of the time, it's being, there's just some misinformation there. There's just that some information that has been altered. For example, there was a time that of course the doctors, of course, in Kenya, I'm talking about the Ministry of Health, went ahead and gave us figures. It had forgotten that it gave us the same figure from last year. So you can tell what is simply going on. Let me just get to share that video. And remember, this is the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network, media for the 21st century. I hope you do get to learn a thing or two, because it was more like a therapeutic for me. I got to love the environment. It was so serene. I got to take a look at a different, of course, economic activities. Same way, that is same way to the trip to Tanzania. I believe a majority of you get to enjoy that. You get to enjoy the opportunity that Mother Nature gets to give you. Let me just proceed and share this as you keep it the Black Hot Fire Network. And of course, this is the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network. All right, here we go. Let me just start. Unajua nimenoti nini? Setting ni huko ni kama Rwanda. Rwanda before ingia tao. Setting ni the same. Aida ya nani? I love how Keith has been talking about we Africa have just been divided by the colonial rules, that this territory marks a certain type of a country, this territory marks this and this type of a country. And from this video, actually, if you take a look at the rural places in Rwanda, the last time we were in Rwanda, from this video, I can tell that these are just a lot of similarities there. The rural Rwanda is just the same case as the Kisi in Kenya. From the shops, from the landscape, I was just like, I was just having that feeling of that deja vu feeling is what I'm talking about. And I'm like, we do have a lot of similarities in Africa in terms of even the crops, in terms of even the climate there. It is just the same. And you can see that tea farming and also maize farming and also banana farming is one of the major economic activity that is done here. Same case that we did get to see that in Rwanda, that it was just the same. They also get to practice. I remember on our way to Rwanda, we got to see of course, some farmers, of course, are taking their products to the market. They were taking the likes of bananas, the likes of maize. We got to see a vehicle, of course, that was taking the tea, of course, to the factory, that the tea leaves to the factory. So it's just all the same. That anywhere in Africa you get to go, there's just a lot of similarities that we do have as well. And actually, the mode of transportation, perhaps you're wondering, what was I boarding? They get to use motorcycles. They also get to use Probox. Yes, Probox in this particular town, they get to use Probox. You see, like the way you get to go to a coastal town, and most of the mode of communication is either a motorcycle or we call it a bajaji. In Tanzania, they call it bajaji. Here it is a Probox. But one thing in this Probox, actually, on the co-driver you have to sit like almost four people, so there's that part whereby you're like you wish you had your own private, that is your own private car, so you can't complain because the people of this particular era, they're so used to this, they're so used to they just see like it's actually very much normal. So this was on the way to town from the village, that is the nearest town center in Kisi. You can see there's just a lot of land. This is the Maasai region. Actually, my host, whereby they were situated, is just it's more like a border between the Maasais and the Kisi. But I got to see that they actually get to live together in peace. So that is the Maasai region there. That's some little bit of local dialect. This particular leaf is actually used as vegetables. It's a little bit slimy, but people get to enjoy it. Mhm. Acha nijaribu. Hizi ng'ombe ziko fresh, ng'ombe ziko healthy vizuri sana. Mm. Mm. You can see free range type of that is a free range type of rearing is what is practiced around this particular region. Not we also do actually get to rear some chicken, but most of the time they're just caged. But here it's free range. I think it's everybody for themselves here. I know. Been talking about religion, how it's highly practiced in different places. And you can hear from the vehicle that I had bought, and now this was just still around the village, that religion is highly, highly appreciated. That there's nothing you can tell someone to change them in terms of what they believe in, because most children, even from a younger age, they get to be, they get to be exposed to this. So religion is highly practiced in this particular region. That is one thing. I remember some time back when we were live with Keith, I had just to share that. So yes, let's get to enjoy some little bit of African religion music, because that is what was playing in the car around there, and this highly speaks of the fact that people in this particular area, they actually get to really stick. We say kanuni za dini in Swahili, kanuni za dini. These are just practices of religion. You can see it's yeah, it's developing. I can say it's developing, considering the last time I was there, this was just a pure land. Also, they've had access to electricity. That was also one thing. And this particular region, it has been 11 years before I got back. So you can imagine the type of feeling that I had, that yes, change has tried, to take place. Let me just say modernity had tried, to take place a little bit. So yes, the last time I was there 11 years ago, there was no electricity, or just a few households had electricity. Also, now you can see M-Pesa. M-Pesa is of course, it's the money transfer platform that you get to use in Kenya and different East African countries. It has also arrived there. So it can just tell us that yes, modernity has tried to take place, and that the world is slowly changing to be a small, a global village. That what can be accessed in the urban areas can also be accessed in the rural areas. That is Kericho County. Kericho County is known to have the best tea leaves in the country. Of course, we do have different counties that get to practice this type of farming. This is Kericho County. Also in Kisii County, they get to, of course, there is a plant tea that is practicing tea farming. But in Kericho County, it is done in large scale. So this is the place whereby most of the people get to export this. That is, the government of Kenya gets to export tea to different parts of the country. And funny thing is that as much as we get to rear this, that is, as much as we get to practice tea farming in Kenya, that is in large scale, that for you to access tea leaves that is processed in large quantities, it is very much limited. Most of the highly quality, that is high quality tea, is exposed to European countries, that is exported to European countries. And then you get to see that in Africa, just get to use the residues. That is the saddest part of it. Same case in Ghana, that they get to, a practice that is a cocoa farming, but the people in Ghana do not get to enjoy the high quality that is the outcome in terms of the products in cocoa farming. Same case. The landscaping is just everything. Welcome back to the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network, a media for the 21st century. I trust that you have taken a look at how my journey was. Of course, it was just something so amazing. I got to really, it's more like you get to just get to have some time to yourself. You get to just get to understand yourself better, considering that life in the city sometimes can be a little bit toxic. That is, it can be a little bit toxic, and sometimes you do need to get that break. Karibuni sana, and this is the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, remember to log on to www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. And once you are logged in, you can proceed and get to watch some of the videos, that is, some of the episodes that we have. I've been doing live from the YouTube. And of course, remember, we are coming live to you from the Nairobi studios. You can also proceed, get to share some of these videos. You can also get to like some of these videos. And also, another great thing is that you can get to listen to some great music that gets to jam right on the Black Hot Fire Network. And also, another thing is that you can I get to read the blogs. You can get, of course, to also donate to support the stream. We highly appreciate that. Remember, the reading culture does not stop irrespective. Karibuni sana once more, and this is the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. In Swahili we say let's go twende moja kwa moja katika kipindi cha leo, rather katika how do I even get to say topic in Swahili? Let me just say we just get to go hand in hand, that is directly to the topic of the day. And I just want to ask this: is rape a culture? That is the debate for today. Is rape a culture? Let me give my answer to that. As of course, feel free. You can get to be interactive with me. You can get to get as interactive as possible. Rape is not a culture. Of course, you can be out here and term many things as being a culture, but rape, it is not a culture. Considering we are trying to make it a culture. A culture is a habit. It's something that you get to do on a daily basis. It's something that gets to be passed on from one generation to another. And that is why I want to say rape is not a culture. Or let's stop making rape a culture. Because the moment you get to make rape a culture, that is the moment that we get, to give the perpetrators behind this the go ahead. And it saddens me that irrespective of all that noise on different social media, irrespective of the public lynching happening, irrespective of at times the huge penalty in terms of the jail terms given to some of the perpetrators, that still people are not afraid of this. And I'm just wondering, what is the message that people are sending? Of course, I want to say people. I don't want to focus on the on men alone or women alone, because also men do get raped as well. But I just want to say this: what message are we sending to the generation that is coming forth? That this is just something that can be done, and depending on the type of links that you do have, that you can't simply walk scot free. That's every day we get to wake up on the fact that ladies get to lose their lives. I'm saying ladies because huge numbers have been reported to be ladies. And here we are, terming rape to be a culture because we are trying to make the perpetrators feel that they can do something and get away with it. And I just want to start the show with this story that has been happening. For example, in universities, they say that once you are actually done, that is, once you are actually done through university, you need to big up yourself. You're done, you're alive, you are well. You need to big up yourself. Because this is the time that the mind wants to really try a lot of things. Talk about as a lady, you got to maybe, chat with one guy for the longest time possible, because nowadays the internet has been more like a zone whereby you can't find, well, your partner sort of. So you have been talking with this guy, you build trust, he has been sending you money, he's been treating you nicely, perhaps you've been having sleepovers and so on. You build trust with this person. Let me just explain from this perspective. You build trust with this person only for a certain day to reach, or maybe you've dated maybe for even 3 months, 6 months, by then you have already built trust with that person, only for this person to invite you for a party because you're so used to, yeah, yes, you can go party, have fun, he gets to do the bills and so on. I'm just using the example of a lady because most of the time the ladies is so vulnerable. I'm not saying that men are not vulnerable, also they get to be vulnerable at some point. That if you are alive to tell the audience of what was done to you, you live the rest of your life not sure of yourself anymore. You live the rest of your life being suicidal. And that is why the rate of suicidal rates coming in into the that is coming in that is rising on a daily basis. It's because of some individuals who have gone through rape. And it's more like a silence. You trusted this person, perhaps you have introduced them to your friend, and they have built that trust. They say that you get to meet with strangers. As much as I do not want to blame the victim, this is the stranger you are so used to. This is the stranger you can't dress anyhowly. Of course, we say my dress, my choice. And at some point, just because I have dressed in a certain type of way does not mean that you, as a man, you have the rights to come about and do what you want to do to me. Thinking that I have dressed, that my dress is sending a message to you. That is why I just feel like today, if we are talking about this, that today has to be the end of us discussing about rape. But sadly enough, it has been there. That of course you trust this person, they end up messing you for life. Or because perhaps they know that you can't get to tell this story out and it can land them to trouble, they get to brutally kill you. Also, let's take a look at the different side of coin like this. That this person, you've been interacting with them on social media, or maybe they are your customer, you've been dealing with them, interacting with them, vibing with them, just like how they come to your shop, buy a lot of products, at sometimes they tip you off with lunch, you're happy. So when they get to invite you out for a party, you definitely want to know this person more, and they have been nice to you. And of course, the human nature is weak. But when somebody is so good to you, you tend to try to reciprocate the same way. only for this, for you to arrive at the date, or just get to party and so on, and for this person to end up maybe gang raping you with your friends, I mean with his friends. That is sadly where we have arrived. That as a lady, you cannot go out, have fun the way you are, I mean the way you want, drink the way you want, because you have to drink carefully, not to drink excessively, because this person might end up doing something worse to you. And I'm just asking myself, where are we heading to as a community? Where are we heading to as a generation? That I cannot party with a stranger to the fullest, party the way I want, because the next minute they'll do something to me. Or still, I can be sober with this stranger, but they'll end up doping my food, my drink, into making me submissive or into making me unconscious. And we want to blame the ladies that it is their cause. How about that lady who was raped and she was dressed in a bui bui? A bui bui is just an African, a Swahili African clothing that, of course, it's mostly done by the likes of the Arab, the Swahili, that they get to don this. And most of the time when they get to don this is because, it is because, they're hiding their body. They're trying to be as pure as possible. But how about rape that gets to be done to these women who are really trying their best to ensure that they stick to their culture? What is it that we are not doing as an audience? And I just want to move on to the fact that some women have complained, that some women have complained that they have reported, of course, these incidences to the police. And believe you, the police have gone ahead, instead of going out there and apprehending the perpetrators, they've gone ahead and said, for example, let's say as a lady, the man invited you to their room, or you invited them to their room, perhaps it's a classmate or something like that. The police have even gone ahead and say that it is you who is to blame. Why did you invite them to your house? Or why did you go to their house? As if, as a human being, I'm not allowed to be interactive. That the police in Kenya, the police in different African countries, have to be bribed to do their job. And yet you're wondering as to how I cannot be sad at the type of environment that's, I do not want to say our leaders, because we get to work in terms of rape, we get to actually work hand in hand. Children are raped on the daily basis. Take a look at the situation in Tigray. That in Tigray region right now, they're still dealing with conflicts. That women and children are even vulnerable to this. Take a look at Sudan. Sudan is also fighting. That the women and children do not know of a safe haven for them. That one minute you are hiding, the next minute somebody will want to find their way with you. Just because you are a lady, just because you cannot defend yourself. We do have different types of rape. We do have the likes of statutory rape. This is a rape that gets to happen whether the victim gave you consent. I'm talking about an underage. Whether she gave you consent, but you as a mature person, you go ahead and indulge in any sexual activity with them. That's, whether you like it or not, it is rape and can earn you a lot of years in jail. It is called statutory rape. And most of the celebrities, we all know, have been caught up in this. We do have this spousal rape. As much as you can be, in a relationship with someone, married to them, and it reaches a point you're like, I think I'm just getting tired with this relationship, and I need a break. I need a break from this. I need to have my time alone. But your partner goes ahead. Yes, you are married. Spousal rape is also rape. Okay, you can't go to court and debate on this. Some people will be like, hey, this is your spouse. Of course, they have every right to do this. But if I've given you a no, my no is supposed to be a no. And my no is not supposed to be a yes at the end of the day. My no is supposed to be my no, irrespective of how I am dressed. You have the day trip. The day trip is just the one thing that I have highly focused on. And we can even take a look at South Africa. What basically did get to happen in South Africa, that most women lost their lives due to this rape. Pregnant women, expectant women, that is what I meant to say, lost their lives because during that period when South Africa was, during the lockdown period, this is the time that people got to realize that, hey, I can do something. And before the police get to apprehend me, I'll be long gone. If you all remember the story of a lady, the sad story of a lady who was actually raped and she was hanged on a tree and she was expectant, 8 months pregnant. And you wouldn't imagine that the ex or either someone you have been dating, or maybe you just called it quits with them, but go ahead and do that to them. To you. Because after of course, this is something that was just ongoing. This is just some information that was ongoing. That it got to be realized that the boyfriend, that is the ex-boyfriend, was behind this. If I decide to part ways with you because I think that you're not really helping me a lot, you're not really helping me deal with some of the manifestos that I did have, I have every right to go. Because a relationship is not a jail term. It is not mandatory that I get to live my life until my hair turns gray with you. If you are doing me some type of injustices, if you are mistreating me, if you're making me feel less vulnerable, I have every right to leave that relationship. So, of course, this lady lost her life because the ex-boyfriend was too jealous to imagine her giving birth to a child, perhaps whether the child was his or the child was not his. Take a look at the increase in murders that are taking place on a daily basis in our society. Rape. Is rape a culture? Let me know your views regarding that. And remember, this is the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, remember to feel free to interact with me. Remember to feel free to give your verdict regarding this, because I feel that as much as we are spreading awareness, as much as the government has been out here spreading awareness regarding this vice that is being practiced in the society, enough is not done. Also, men do get to go through this. But whenever a man actually gets to report this to the police, trust me, he's going to be ridiculed. He's going to be made to feel less of a man. Rape can happen in many ways. That at some point you can be diced. You can be, your drink can be, of course, adduced. And you end up finding yourself in such a situation. Let me know your view regarding that. And we are taking a short musical break. And of course, at Samuel, hi, Samuel, have said, hey, Calmie, hey to you too. I trust your day is going out okay. Samuel, kindly let me know your view regarding this, that we are making rape to be a culture. While in the real sense, it is not a culture. It is a fact that we are trying to make those who have been performing this, making them feel that they can do it and walk scot-free. Even the cases, that is the courts right now, they do not get to give them a harsh sentence. We've had just a few individuals being given a harsh sentence. For example, one pastor was given 100 years in jail. And this was after the public had really, been so mad on social media. That's only when the public is on these cases when a harsh verdict is always given. Let me know your view regarding that as we take this short musical break. And remember to keep it the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. Karibuni sana to the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. I trust that the 22nd day that is of the month of March is really turning out okay. As for me, I'm just so happy because this is, yay, my birthday week. So, of course, yes, it definitely has to turn okay. It doesn't mean that it has to be an event for your day to turn out well. It is all about you vibing on the positive vibrations. It is all about you trying your best to ensure that nothing is dragging you behind. And moving on to the topic of the day, we have been asking yourself, is rape really a culture? And of course, let's just take a look at some of the things that can be done to eradicate these once and for all. And this is why most of the time when I get to see some public lynching taking place, I'm like, go ahead, they deserve it, because you cannot imagine that these are, sometimes if you ask someone, have you ever maybe interacted with this or know someone who has gone through this, they'll definitely give you a yes. And remember, they'll give you maybe a story of someone's a sister, maybe a relative, or just a neighbor. The fact that it has not happened to you, it does not mean that these people are living well. It means that and these people are really battling a lot in terms of surviving, being survival victims. And let's just take a look at some of the things that can be done to end this. One of the things is that we can get to speak out against the root causes. And the fact here is not all about, it's not all about masculinity. It's not all about the way I'm dressed. Yes, sometimes I can't just want to get out of the house and looking as okay. Depends on the mindset on how your dressing code gets to boost self-esteem. It all depends. Different people believe that in dressing in a certain type of way makes them to feel as important as possible. Well, that is them. And it does not give you the opportunity to be like, you need to have access to their bodies. Also, another thing, as much as it can get to speak out against the root causes, we can get to create a culture of enthusiastic consent. That if I have said no to you, I just definitely mean that no. Irrespective of whether you asked me and I was sober, and you've still asked me and I am high, my no is still a no. Get to respect that. Get to be, as a man, get to be the elder brother for this girl or for this lady. That imagine yourself, if this was done to your sister, how would you feel? You'll definitely want to give someone a dark for doing that. So get to be the elder brother out there. Get to put yourself. Perhaps you might not even have sisters, but imagine yourself, if this is done to you, how would you feel about this? Also, let us redefine masculinity. You know, it just does not have to be all about the way you look at women. It does not have to be the mindset that you have grown about. That is the mindset that you have been growing about. But by us redefining masculinity with feminist, that is a feminist principles, then we will definitely go out there and make a better society. There's also one thing in terms of victim blaming. That's why did you go to their house? Why did you allow yourself to drink and this was a stranger? Why did you dress in a certain type of way? Why did you accept their money? I beg. If someone is being good to me, let me enjoy. They say life is for the living. But it does not mean that if I am enjoying and something happens to me, that you need to blame me. It is the mindset of the perpetrator. Why? Did they think that because they were giving me money, that because they were spoiling me in some certain type of way, that they have the right to access to my body? That is where we need to put a big X. I believe we get to stop, victim blaming, because some of these victims have gone ahead and kill themselves. I mean, become some of them have killed themselves. Some of them have become suicidal because the society chose to blame them if they lived. Let's us also have zero tolerance to some of these perpetrators. Let's give them harsh penalties. Harsh penalties with how do I put it? In Swahili we say wateseke sana. Yani if they have been arrested in prison, wateseke sana. They need to really pay for what they did to the victims when they had the freedom. Let us also create this awareness in terms of understanding the rape culture. Let us also create this awareness in terms of understanding the rape culture. Because the moment you get to understand that it is not a culture, it is more of a mindset, it is more of what we are trying to do in a society, it is more of us trying to make it normal, then that is when we'll get to realize what needs to be done. Also, it is good in terms of creating awareness. Let us also know the history of rape, because some of these, of course, in terms of the rape culture or in terms of rape, it has been existing in different parts of African countries, in different parts of European countries. And if we come together and get to understand what was really affecting the people, then definitely we'll get to go ahead. Also, let us get to listen to their survivors and find a way that we'll get to make them, feel as appreciated as possible. Let us make them feel that it is not it is not their fault as to why they got to really undergo to this. Also, by doing this, we need not to laugh at them, because tomorrow it's me. Today it's me, tomorrow it is you. We say in Swahili, leo ni mimi, kesho ni wewe. So you definitely need to do something for the people. Let us also end impunity, because to end all this, we need to make these perpetrators be held as accountable as possible. That is all we did have about rape. I do trust that you have learned a thing or two, and of course, we are almost winding the show regarding all this. And I have just felt like I have learned a lot regarding this, because like I've said, today it might happen to someone that you know, someone who's not even your relative, but tomorrow it might be you. Let us put an end to this, because it saddens me to see that every day on the local media or different mainstream, that is a different of course mainstream, that a lot of people get to go to really go through a lot. And as I do come to the end of the show, remember family, we do have the greater Tanzanian tour that is set to take place. Remember, you can feel free to contact Keith. It is still not late for that. You can still get to contact, and of course, have an amazing trip there, because just believe there is a lot of activities that can get to be done there. Remember, there is a lot that Mother Nature simply gets to offer us. This has been quite interesting. I have really appreciated everyone who did get to tune in. I've really appreciated everyone who has, or rather, who has been listening to the show. I do understand that you do have some difference in timings, but you can feel free. That is to log in and to www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. And once you are logged in, you can proceed and get to listen to some of the shows. You can get to like the shows. You can get to share these shows, because remember, we all talk about educative things. We all talk about things that do get to affect us both in Africa and in the diaspora at large. Also, remember, we do have different shows as well. We do have the Calmie African Diary show. We do have the Voices of the Motherland show. We do have the Express show, the African Today show, the 54 correspondence, Swahili classes. I mean, if I begin to name these, I cannot even finish regarding that. So there's just a lot of things, or rather different platforms that we can get to be vibing on. That is vibing on. I really appreciate everyone. My name is Calmie. This has been the Calmie African Diary Show. We get to interact every Monday, Tuesday, that is sorry, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, nawatakia siku njema. I'm just saying that I'm wishing you a great day ahead. And of course, remember, in anything that you are doing, remember to press on, because at the end of the day, what matters, what the future matters, is the effort that you simply did get to put in. I really appreciate everyone. At Rigado, I really appreciate you tuning in. And of course, we are coming to the end of the show. And at Keith, thank you so much for providing this platform. Keep it the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century.